The 2018 Toyota C-HR. Toyota has made a huge splash at the 2016 LA Auto Show with its 2018 C-HR crossover debut. This C-segment, coupe-like crossover wears very aggressive styling, especially for Toyota, and offers a peppy drivetrain combined with an advanced suspension system and an honest rack-and-pinion steering system. The C-HR name stands for Coupe High-Rider and is nearly a carbon copy of the Scion C-HR concept that debuted at the 2015 LA Auto Show. The C-HR will come in two trim levels, XLE and XLE Premium. Both are well equipped with all the modern gadgets and amenities, but the XLE Premium comes standard with a slew of active safety systems. Regardless of trim, the C-HR will have 18-inch wheels, dual-zone climate control, front bucket seats, a 7-inch audio display, and Toyota Safety Sense P. Toyota pushed to make the C-HR handle better than its competition, too. Believe it or not, the C-HR was developed on the Nürburgring in Germany and uses some high-end suspension components to achieve a sporty yet comfortable ride. Interestingly though, Toyota decided to include a continuously variable transmission rather than a conventional, 6-speed gearbox or the 6-speed manual gearbox found in the C-HR concept. Despite this C-HR not being a true hot hatch competitor, this crossover will certainly be one of the most stylish and bold entries in the C-segment class. Not even the Nissan Juke can outstyle this Toyota. Naysayers are condemning the C-HR for looking like the Honda HR-V, but we don't see that many similarities beyond the coupe-like roofline and funky rear doors. Anyway, let's have a good look at the 2018 Toyota C-HR. Continue reading for the full review. Exterior. Wow, Toyota's designers outdid themselves on this one. The C-HR certainly different than anything we've seen from the automaker before, though it somewhat reminds us of the Hyundai Veloster. That's probably because the C-HR's rear doors have C-pillar mounted door handles that nearly intersect with the sloping roof. The Veloster aside, the C-HR is undeniably sporty and is certainly Toyota's most aggressive design. Toyota says its mission statement in creating the C-HR was distinctive diamond. While we're not completely sure on what that means, the finished result brought diamond shapes all over the crossover. The C-HR is undeniably sporty and is certainly Toyota's most aggressive design. Up front, the C-HR looks somewhat similar to the current RAV4 thanks to the large headlights and piano black accent that spans between them. The C-HR's bumper features an unconventional design, with the lower fascia sucking in all the air. Fog lights, air scoops, and angular panels abound. The angles continue onto the side, where the C-HR looks like it's been hitting the gym. The sculpted area below the A-pillar looks muscular, as does the bodyline that flows along the fender arches and lower door panels. The funkiness continues out back. The glass hatch slopes off the roof at a steep angle before joining the nearly vertical rear hatch. The opening is bookended by large, boomerang-style, LED taillights. Down low, the bumper sports faux vents behind the rear tires, while black body molding is carried over from the lower section of the side doors. Black moldings around the wheel arches give the C-HR a more SUV-ish, rugged look. Sporty 18-inch alloy wheels with machined-faced fronts and black painted pockets continue the theme. The rear spoiler that protrudes over the liftgate's glass is said to be functional, though its function is probably to keep the rear window clean rather than creating downforce. Overall, the C-HR carries a futuristic and youthful design that promises a fun driving experience. The competition. The Honda HR-V is a bit more conservative than the C-HR, though it is one of Honda's funkiest designs. The front shares some design language with the Honda CR-Z coupe. Strong body lines and accents abound, all capped off by the sloping rear roofline. Handles mounted in the C-pillar operate the rear doors and are likely too tall for kids to reach. The Toyota has the same issue. Out back, the Honda has large taillights resting inside a smile line that spans the width of the car. The Nissan Juke started the funky crossover segment back in 2011 and it remains one of the most polarizing vehicles on the road. I've heard people say they love it, while others have said it looks like a frog. Opinions aside, the Juke is certainly a hot contender for the C-HR. Now, if we could just have Toyota pull off a TRD version of the C-HR to compete with the Juke Nismo RS. Exterior comparison, Honda HR-V, left, Nissan Juke, right, Toyota C-HR, center. Interior. The Toyota C-HR's interior is a surprisingly refined and stylish place to sit. While it does carry quite the design language, it's not overdone or outlandish in any way. The dashboard is a good combination of matte and gloss finishes, with bits of chrome scattered about, a 7-inch infotainment screen, and intuitively placed HVAC controls. A leather-wrapped, 3-spoke steering wheel is loaded with controls for easy reaching, and a small driver information screen between the analog gauges shows important vehicle metrics. The dashboard is a good combination of matte and gloss finishes, with bits of chrome scattered about, a 7-inch infotainment screen, and intuitively placed HVAC controls. The center console is pretty to look at, but does split up the cup holders. Form is definitely leading function in this area. Nevertheless, the shifter looks like Toyota borrowed it from a Lexus product thanks to its satin chrome knob and leather boot. A storage bin resides beneath the center armrest, typical of most vehicles these days. Rear passengers are treated to smaller quarters than the front occupants, but room for 2 should be fine for long trips. Fitting 3 adults across might present a problem, however. If it's cargo you're hauling, the rear seats fold down 60/40th style, giving a decent amount of room behind the front row. The competition. The Honda HR-V has a more subtle cabin, but is by no means boring. A driver-focused cockpit offers controls at the fingertips. The high-rise center console splits the 2 front seats and offers 2 large cup holders toward the center armrest. A lower compartment area provides USB and 12-volt connections, as well as a place for random items. There have been complaints about Honda's touch-sensitive HVAC and radio controls, but user experience likely varies. The Nissan Juke's interior is beginning to show its age, but is still a funky place to sit. The bulbous center console is more for looks than storage, though it provides a great position for the optional manual transmission's gearshift. Multi-function controls switch between HVAC and drive mode settings, making it a very unique attribute for the Juke. Those who want a truly sporty experience will be happy with the Nismo RS version's Recaro racing seats and Alcantara-aligned steering wheel. Interior comparison, Honda HR-V, left, Nissan Juke, right, Toyota C-HR, center. Drivetrain. The 2018 C-HR might look like a hot rod, but it will perform like a typical Toyota, at least in a straight line. Handling, however, has the potential to become the second most sporty under the Toyota banner, behind the 86 Coupe, of course. Power comes from a 2.0-liter, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that makes 144 horsepower and 140 pound-feet of torque. It uses variable valve timing to help generate power, but it's only integrated onto the intake valves. Direct injection or other high-tech bits are not included, but it does feature an interesting oil pump. Power comes from a 2.0-liter, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that makes 144 horsepower and 140 pound-feet of torque. Yep, the oil pump, of all things, is a world first. It's called a coaxial 2-port oil pump, and it allows for continuous oil pressure manipulation during different driving conditions. This gives pump the freedom to increase or decrease oil pressure depending on the engine's need. The engine is mated to a continuously variable transmission that only sends power to the front wheels. Sadly, the manual transmission option on the C-HR concept didn't make the production cut. The CVT has 7 simulated gears to give the feeling of a conventional automatic. It also allows for manual control of those gears. The C-HR does include some interesting tech for turning corners. It has a traditional rack-and-pinion steering system despite the industry's hard push toward electronic steering systems. This will surely give the C-HR some feedback from the front wheels. It also has a preloaded differential that's said to help distribute torque evenly between the wheels during low-speed driving. Engaging sport mode makes the throttle more responsive, quickens the CVT's shifts, and keeps engine revs higher in the power band. The C-HR rides on McPherson struts up front that include Sachs dampers with angles strut bearings. A thick anti-roll bar pins the 2 front wheels together for a flat cornering ride. Out back, a double wishbone suspension also uses Sachs dampers complete with urethane upper supports. This is a first for Toyota and is said to work with the cast aluminum upper support housing to aid in the damper's absorption efficiently. This is supposed to give a more comfortable ride that handles well when pushed. The competition. The Honda HR-V comes powered by a naturally aspirated 1.8-liter four-cylinder that makes 141 horsepower and 127 pound-feet of torque. Unlike the Toyota, the Honda's engine features direct fuel injection and variable valve timing on both intake and exhaust sides. That last bit is thanks to Honda's iconic IVTEC system that controls both lift and duration of valve operation. The HR-V comes with a CVT and can be had in FWD or AWD versions. The Juke comes standard with a 1.6-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that makes a stout 188 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque. A CVT manages the power sent to the front wheels or to all four wheels with the AWD option selected. Opting for the Nismo RS version gets you an updated 1.6-liter Turbo 4 with 215 horsepower. FWD and a manual transmission are standard, but AWD paired with a CVT and only 211 horsepower is available. Safety. Toyota has loaded the C-HR with safety equipment it normally reserves for higher-end vehicles. Called the Toyota Safety Sense P, the system includes pre-collision system with pedestrian detection function, forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking, lane departure alert with steering assist function, automatic high beams, and full-speed dynamic radar cruise control. Of course, should the worst happen, the C-HR has a full suite of airbags, seat belts, rear seat child restraint latch points, crumple zones, and a passenger safety cell. Prices. Toyota hasn't announced any pricing information, though we expect that to happen closer to the C-HR's on sale date sometime in 2017. Prices are expected to be slightly higher than the Toyota RAV4, meaning we can expect the C-HR to start at around $25,000. Competition. Honda HR-V. The Honda HR-V competes with the Toyota, but does so in a more reserved way. Its exterior styling is certainly bold, but looks almost mature compared to the C-HR's outlandish lines. Looks are subjective though, so buyers will have to make their own decision on that. The HR-V is powered by a 1.8-liter four-cylinder with 141 horses and 127 pound-feet. It's not the most powerful of the bunch, but it gets the job done. In FWD form, the HR-V is EPA estimated to get 28 mpg city and 35 mpg highway. Pricing for the 2016 HR-V starts at an obtainable $19,215, adding options pushes the price north but won't exceed $24,000. Read more about the Honda HR-V here. Nissan Juke. The Juke is perhaps the funkiest crossover currently on the market. Nissan's design is unconventional, to say the least, but it somehow works. The Juke has become a popular choice in the compact crossover segment, with sales exceeding what anyone imagined. Furthering its popularity is the addition of the Nismo and outlandish Nismo RS. A 1.6-liter four-cylinder making 188 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque power standard models, while the Nismo RS gets a spicier version making 215 horses. A manual transmission is available on the Nismo RS in FWD, but all other models come with a CVT. Prices for the Nissan Juke start around $20,250, with the Nismo RS coming in at $24,830 before options. Find out more about the Nissan Juke here. Conclusion. Toyota has broken the mold with the C-HR. Its more avant-garde appearance and dynamic driving characteristics should attract the industry's attention. The C-HR might be late to the compact crossover segment, but Toyota may just have a home run on its first bat. Though it's unlikely, it would be fantastic to see the automaker match the out-there styling with a performance model. The Juke Nismo RS would be an honorable benchmark, and Toyota has certainly been lacking any sort of honest performance model beside the '86 Coupe. Regardless, we like the C-HR's bold attempt to grab the compact crossover segment by the horns. No one can accuse Toyota of not trying. Now if Toyota could name it something other than chair. Love its stunning looks. Handling-minded suspension should compete well. Leave it late to the game, form over function.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.